Hey everybody, this is Perch. Here's a good email. I like the question it asks. Let me read it to you. It says, "Hey Perch, just realized that almost every Amazing Spider-Man writer in the last 40 years has been sabotaged by Editorial." All right, bold claim. Let's see the receipts here. Stern left in the middle of his run because he and Danny Figueroth were having issues, not sure what. DeFalco got fired off Amazing Spider-Man by Priest, and then the Hobgoblin reveal was completely botched as a result. Michelinie didn't want to do that dumb subplot with the robot parents, apparently, but he had to, and his run ended in a whimper. DeMatteis wrote probably the best Spider-Man run ever on Spectacular, but when he was brought on Amazing Spider-Man, it was for the Clone Saga. How can anyone weave magic in that Frankenstein's monster, though he did have some of the best stories in it? JMS was on his way to the greatest Amazing Spider-Man run ever, and then Editorial completely screwed him over with Sins Past and One More Day. Apparently, Spencer was sabotaged too. I'll go, okay. Before we go to the next bit, I'll go further because, everyone's, everyone's big target, no pun intended, Dan Slott. You could argue his run also was hijacked by Editorial multiple times. He did his Sinister Spider-Man bit, Editorial, and he fought somewhat, happily, but still fought about Editorial was telling people, no, Peter Parker's not dead. Dan Slott was saying he was. Of course, he wasn't really dead, but still, that was screwy. And then the big time where Peter Parker was suddenly a millionaire was also a from what has been gathered a weird editorial choice as a result of the time skip, and you had several moments in there where that the run just suddenly took a left turn, and it Dan Slott has said at least that was a team decision, which was code for editorial. So I think you brought the receipt, so well done. I think there is definitely something to be said here. That is, you are correct, and I think it is pretty all encompassing with everyone. Now, some people may be saying, "Hey, wait a minute, how was Spencer sabotaged?" It's unclear. I think Spencer was off to a good run. Spencer was clearly at least laying some of the groundwork to undo One More Day and the whole Mary Jane marriage thing, or at least put it in a new place. And and then his run he did the Substack deal, and Marvel was reportedly unhappy about that, or who knows, something was amiss with that. And then, when he ended his run, he ended it with Spider-Man and Mary Jane getting back together, and then they almost immediately, well, not almost, they immediately reversed course. And so it made his run look like they were quickly trying to get just past it. We also had that, the Spider-Man in a coma business. So, I mean, they definitely did him dirty. So back to the mail, but I think your case is proven. So well done, sir. Spider-Man is my favorite character, says Mel, but he's hopeless. Almost every run ends poorly. The fans all come in from different eras, want different things aggressively. The company will never admit One More Day was a mistake, and they will constantly toy with emotions as they half-ass every decision, giving glimmers of hope and then crushing it. And the writers can't even execute on anything, good or bad. All their ideas only make it halfway before falling apart. Spider-Man is just screwed, right? That's the glass half empty way of looking at it. Yeah, maybe he is, but I think I think all the major characters fall into this place where there becomes this almost kind of weird dynamic of the worst, the worst of both worlds, where writers come in, they want to leave their mark on this character who's been around for a while, so they want to do some bold, new, exciting, adventurous thing. But the boundaries in which they have to work in are more and more restrictive. There's not really much you can do because the publishing company is willing to let this kind of run amok for a while, but only so far. Because at the end of the day, they have to snap back to what they believe is the common reality, or the marketable reality for the character. So Spider-Man, for whatever reason, the people at Marvel believe that the only way that character works is if he is single, lovable loser, and down on his luck. That's what they want. And so no matter what the writers do, they're going to eventually pull us back into that same place. That means a character can never move forward. Ironic Because the publisher often on a regular basis wags their finger at the fans saying you won't allow the characters to grow. But the growth they're talking about is not actual growth. It's things like, hey, you're not, you should allow us to introduce this Poochie character, this completely, unknown, completely untested character, and you should love it. And if you don't love it, then we're going to tell you that you are, you're no good. You won't accept change. You're stuck in the past. And yet, every action we take with the regular characters is going to take us back to the past. And that's happened certainly with Batman, with Superman, with Spider-Man, with Captain America. With a lot of these major characters, they always get yanked back to their status quo. So if you get a writer with a really good run going, a writer who's really kind of building up, doing big things with the character, it eventually hits the gotcha moment where now it's time to, revert the character backward to their default state. And that's what we have. I think Spider-Man gets that worse than most because fans really liked a lot of the directions they were going. With Batman, they've tried different things, but this is one where this is almost the complete perfect argument to when people tell you, oh, those toxic fans don't want comics to change and evolve and everything else. Well, look at what happens in both companies, two major characters, Batman and Spider-Man. The fans wanted a woman in the comic, front and center, as a partner to Spidey and to Batman. They were up for the wedding. They were excited for the wedding in Batman. They were excited for the wedding in, Peter Parker, Mary Jane. They liked the relationship. If these were a bunch of toxic man babies, then, you'd expect that these fans would want, the female characters to get just kicked to the curb and the women to be kind of, excised from the book. And for the man to just run around and sleep with people and just have a good time, be the alpha male. But people don't want that. They were not, we saw Spider-Man run through Mockingbird, run through, some sort of the Black Cat. He's at other women, and people are like, yeah, just go back to Mary Jane. We'd like to see him faithful to Mary Jane. She's an important character in the comic. Can we see more Mary Jane in the comic, please? They want the character to grow up, to evolve, to get married. With Batman, it's like, yeah, you know what? Batman, Catwoman, we're ready. We're here for the wedding. We want to see that wedding. We're ready for that. We're ready to see the character evolve. We're tired of the single bachelor, go nowhere, just kind of hanging out. We want this character to grow up. Not everybody, of course. Certainly some people will come on the channel and in the comments here and say that they hate the marriage and they don't want to see that and everything else. But look at the majority of angst here. When you really listen to it, it is not get rid of all the women, or as She-Hulk would say, the females. It is include them in the hero's life. Let the character mature and grow. I don't know what it is. And by the way, this makes even less sense to me. But if we're going to make a comparison to wrestling, for whatever goddamn reason, and I don't understand wrestling, I get comics because it's an ongoing story and you do like to see these characters grow and evolve, and seeing them in a relationship is kind of fun and everything else. In wrestling, the wrestling fans also like a wedding. It's a little bizarre. Macho Man Randy Savage, God rest his soul, with Liz. That wedding did great numbers. People were up for it. In the past, when they've teased kind of wrestlers getting together and having a relationship, hell, remember Skip and Sonny? People like that one. The ratings when was it Mark Marrow and Sable, when Sable finally popped and decided she was not going to be held back by no man and do her own thing. The fans loved that shit. They loved it. There is something about these entertainment forms where, the people reading it, they actually want to see the characters get married, have relationships. They want to see those things. So you're right. In Spider-Man, they're never going to admit that One More Day was a mistake. They're never going to say that that was a tactical error. And maybe, just maybe, they're wrong, that they've had a bad a bad understanding of what people and fans actually like. To do so would be to admit that maybe the people who have been in this business, who are the so-called experts, really don't understand that market very well. It is the emperor has no clothes phenomenon, because lots of people, long before all this YouTube stuff and social media, lots of people within comics were well aware that some of the people in charge did not have a good handle on what people wanted, what actually sold. But yes, I mean, a lot of these characters, and certainly Spider-Man, they'll let them get to a certain point and then they yank it back, and that's a sad cycle to be stuck in. Anyway, well, there you go. That's kind of a downer. That's a downer of a video, but here we are anyway. Well, hey, like and subscribe. I will not edit this video like I edit no video. Um, Good old Wes. Wes was giving me some. He's like, you should hire an editor to edit your videos, and I'm thinking that would make the videos better. On the other hand, a really good editor would edit the entire video to 0. I did that one for you, Mumbles. No, I mean it would cause me to take an extra 30 seconds to email off the videos to the editor. It's not the money; it's the time. Anyway, thank you for listening. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And I did it wrong. I did it backwards. It's supposed to end on thanks for listening. So I'll have to go back to an old favorite of mine, Fuck Perch.